The University of Cambridge has suffered a humiliating defeat in a court battle after a High Court in London rejected its application seeking a ban on protests linked to Israel-Palestine conflict on its campus for 5 years. Yes, you heard it right. The university has sought a ban on Israel-Palestine related protests till 2030. Let that sink in. This is what free speech means in a supposed first world country. And although Cambridge University said it wanted a ban on any protests linked to the Israel Palestine conflict, for all practical purposes, this was meant to stop pro Palestinian protesters from highlighting Israel's genocidal campaign in Gaza and now in the occupied West Bank. Anyway, lawyers from the university had approached the High Court, arguing that the injunction was urgently required before a graduation ceremony scheduled for Saturday, which means tomorrow. While Justice Fordham granted a very narrow and limited court order, he dismissed the longer term ban sought by the university. This effectively means that whilst no protest would be allowed coinciding the graduation ceremony scheduled for this Saturday, the University of Cambridge has failed to get a 5-year ban on protest on its campus. This is what the Cambridge Student Union's BME officer Maruf Rafiq said on his legal victory.
Hello everyone, this is Maruf Rafiq and I'm the Black and Minority Ethnic Officer at the Cambridge Student Union.
Hi everyone, I'm Eleni, the Welfare and Communities Officer at the Students' Union.
And today we are here to announce that we have been in the Royal Court of Justice for the High Court hearing against the University of Cambridge injunction.
And we're so proud to announce that we have won. The university has not gained the permission to file an injunction for 5 years against student protesters wishing to protest in key university sites.
The only injunction that the university has provided is for 2 days until 11 p.m. on Saturday to allow the graduation at the Senate House and the Senate Yard. Apart from that, the court has upheld the convention rights of human rights regime at the university, allowing the students the freedom of expression and the right to protest. Because the right to protest is not a privilege but a fundamental right, and we are here to defend on your behalf.
We believe in students gaining their rights and maintaining them.
The court order means that students will be prohibited from protesting at Senate House in Cambridge and the lawn in front of it known as Senate House Yard, where the graduation ceremony is scheduled to take place on Saturday, the 1st of March. In its evidence, the University of Cambridge had informed the court about previous encampments set up by the group Cambridge for Palestine on Senate House Yard in May and November last year. The university also presented another similar protest at its Greenwich House site in November 2024 as evidence. The May encampment had gained global publicity after Suella Braverman, the former Tory Home Secretary, had gone there to provoke students who were protesting against the Israel's genocidal campaign in Gaza.
Now, quite often you'll see that they don't seem particularly intent on showing their faces. I don't know if you might be able to engage with people. Hello, just wondering if you'd like to have any kind of discussion at all with Suella today?
Hi, I'm Suella. I'm keen to find out your views and what you're protesting about.
Nothing at all? No?
Interested in why you're covering your faces. Is it a COVID or a health measure? No comment.
No? Can I just ask, are you students at the university or just from around the area? Nothing? No? No, fine. Okay, interesting. Yeah. Oh, what were you expecting? You know, did you think that maybe people might engage a little bit with you? They feel very strongly.
Well, these are supposed to be some of the brightest and the best students in the land, and taught in the art of articulating their views and expressing arguments in a coherent way. And I'm interested in hearing their arguments.
Yeah. Anyone?
Engaging and listening.
What would be your main question to some of the individuals?
I'm really keen to hear what your message is to Israel.
No. Nothing.
Interested to hear your message to Hamas.
No comment. Okay.
Do you think the hostages should be released now?
Not really
No,
happening today, is there?
no,
All right,
they're
well,
not.
hey, we keep walking.
Not very.
Don't know if you
Not
would
very
like to have a quick chat with us,
conversant
sir, at all today?
Hi there.
Go on.
Very nice. I'm Suella. Can I ask you what your message is to Israel?
Yep.
Right. Can I ask you what your message is to Hamas? Silence.
Guys, anyone willing to just explain a couple of bits and bobs? What you guys are doing here, why it's so important to you, what the demands are, anything? No?
Vegan and nut fruit needed. Vegan and nut-free food
Oh, that's what it says.
is needed.
Right, well, there we go.
Morning, everybody. Hi, I'm Suella Braverman, MP, here to inquire about what you're protesting about and give you an opportunity to send your message onto national television.
No? Okay, all right. Well, it's fascinating, really, because I thought that maybe they would give some form of response or reaction. But
Yeah, I
for
thought
people
they'd
who
have a
clearly feel
line.
so-
Rejecting the university's application for a 5-year ban on protests, Justice Fordham said that it was a matter of significant concern that the university's application offered little time for potential interested parties to properly respond. He also said that the High Court had not been told about 10 graduation ceremony that went ahead unimpeded by protest during the relevant May to December 2024 time period. When the university told the court about 2 disrupted ceremonies and 3 prospective ones, the judge said, and I quote, "It was important that the court was given a full factual picture and not simply told about the graduation events that had been disruptive." Cambridge University was being represented by barrister Yasser Vanderman, who told the court that some defendants formed part of a well-organized group with strong and committed views on the conflict. He told the court that the university wanted injunctive relief to restrain threatened acts of trespass and nuisance. Venderman asked for an injunction to last 5 years, with annual reviews, arguing that given the long-standing nature of the Gaza conflict, such a time frame was reasonable. But the judge said he was simply not prepared to make any final order or any order lasting 5 years. The European Legal Support Center, whose lawyers were at the forefront challenging the university's attempt to muzzle free speech, said, and I quote, "This is a significant victory, one that sends a strong message to other universities attempting to impose such draconian restrictions on freedom of assembly and protest. The University of Cambridge's efforts to undermine its students' civil liberties by seeking an injunction to effectively ban expressions of Palestine solidarity, both on and off campus until 2030, represented the broadest restriction on university protests to date." End quote. Pro-Palestinian campaigners have always alleged that Cambridge University failed to act on previous agreements to review investments in relation to the arms industry. The university had previously said it was committed to reviewing its approach to responsible investment. The decision by Cambridge University to seek a ban on pro-Palestinian groups from protesting on its campus for 5 years had caused global outrage, and rightly so. Gina Romero, the UN Special Rapporteur for Freedom of Assembly, on Thursday morning urged Cambridge University to refrain from regulations that contravene international standards on human rights protection and to stop harassing and stigmatizing the university-based pro-Palestine solidarity movement. She had added, and I quote, "Cambridge University, as I highlighted in the recommendations submitted in 2024, universities must ensure that their regulations and practices are aligned with human rights law and international standards. Specifically related to the right to freedom of peaceful assembly, universities must guarantee and protect peaceful assemblies wherever they take place and regardless of their forms, respecting the principles of sight and sound, content neutrality, and non-discrimination. Any restriction need to comply with the requirements of legality, necessity, and proportionality. End quote. Joe Grady, General Secretary of the University and College Union, which represents academic and support staff, has said in a statement that the application was a shameful attack on basic democratic rights from Cambridge bosses, adding that Cambridge risks setting a precedent which could be used to shut down peaceful protest at universities across the country. This development is extremely significant given that Israeli lobby has now taken full control of media landscape in the UK. You saw how the rogue BBC pulled the plug on its Gaza documentary. The only piece of journalism broadcast by this publicly funded media outlet in the last 16 months where Palestinians were humanized. But even that was not acceptable. And within hours of its broadcast, not only did the BBC remove the documentary from iPlayer, but also issued an unprecedented apology for its rare act to humanize Palestinians.
The BBC has apologised for serious flaws in the production of a documentary about the war in Gaza after it emerged the teenage narrator was the son of a Hamas politician. The corporation removed Gaza: How to Survive a War Zone from the iPlayer. It was made by an independent production company. The BBC says further due diligence is being carried out and revealed the boy's mother had received limited payment. Hoyo Films maintains that no payments were made to members of Hamas or its affiliates.
How dare we show Palestinians as humans? This must never be allowed on any BBC platform. That's what appears to be the collective sentiments of BBC bosses. Even the BBC board convened an emergency meeting to discuss the decision to show the Israeli atrocities in Gaza. This was truly unprecedented. But this is what you get when you have Robbie Gibb in the board. As I said long ago, the BBC is dead, and British taxpayers must mount a legal battle to defund this once reputed organization. That's it from me. Thank you very much for your support of this platform and our journalism on buymeacoffee.com and Patreon. If you too think that our journalism is worth supporting, then you too should consider becoming part of it. Details are there in the description of this video. In the meantime, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, because that's one of the many ways you can support independent journalism. God bless you all.